Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the commencement ceremony for the class of 2025. Let's go, Sailors! Well, good evening. I'm Jennifer Buster, the very proud principal of Mona Shores High School. It is my honor to welcome you to this special occasion this evening. So welcome parents, family, and friends, staff, administration, and Board of Education members to the 61st commencement exercise where we will celebrate the graduation of the class of 2025. It is definitely a great day to be a sailor. Will you all please stand and remain standing as our graduates enter the arena? there's going to be a lot of celebration and a lot of applause, but let's do it one more time. Welcome the class of 2025. Let's go. Will you all please stand and remain standing as our amazing commencement band plays the national anthem led by senior drum major Leah Baldwin. Please be seated. So, to the class of 2025, as you stand on the threshold of a new beginning, we want to take a moment to reflect on all that you have given to Mona Shores, not just to your school, but to one another and to the community around you. Your commitment has been unwavering, whether in the classroom, on the stage, and on the playing field. You showed up with determination and a ton of grit. You faced challenges with courage and kept pushing forward, even when the path wasn't easy. Your passion lit up every project, performance, and competition in pursuit of excellence. You poured your hearts into things you cared about, and in doing so, you inspired everyone around you to dream a little bigger and try a little harder. Your service to this community has made a lasting difference. From volunteering your time to supporting causes greater than yourself, you've shown what it means to lead with compassion and give with purpose. You reminded us that even the smallest act of kindness can have a powerful impact. And above all, you will be a class that is reminded by all of us of your kindness to one another. It has been the soul of this graduating class. In your friendships, your teamwork, and your everyday moments, you chose empathy, support, and respect. That spirit of unity will be one of your greatest legacies. So as you go forward, take with you the best of what you built here at Mona Shores. The world needs your heart, your voice, and your brilliance. The class of 2025 has already shown what's possible when people lead with love and purpose. We are so proud of you, and we cannot wait to see what you all do next. Seniors, take a look around the arena. There are 3,000 people here to support you. Your parents, your family, your friends. Seniors, give Sailor Nation a round of applause. So we have much gratitude to our teachers who are in front of us. As we celebrate the class of 2025, we extend our heartfelt thanks to the elementary, the middle school, and the high school teachers who have shaped the class of 2025. The elementary teachers come from Lincoln Park, Campbell, Churchill, and Ross Park. Thank you for being their first guides, sparking curiosity and nurturing young hearts with patience and love. To our middle school teachers, thank you for supporting them through the seasons of growth, helping them discover who they are and what they are capable of becoming. To our high school teachers, thank you for inspiring. Thank you for encouraging excellence. Thank you for preparing them for the future and walking with them every step to this milestone moment. The success the class of 2025 had is a reflection of your dedication, as we forever grateful for the lasting impact you have all made. So please join me, seniors and Sailor Nation, and give these amazing educators a gratitude round of applause, please. So let's turn our focus back onto this amazing class of 2025. Recently, our seniors were honored and earned several academic awards at the traditional honors convocation last Monday. The senior members in the National Honor Society hit a new school record, totaling over 5,000 community service hours in our community, earning the 24-25 National Community Service Sapphire Award. Congratulations, seniors. The class of 2025 has reached many milestones. They have earned over $5 million in academic and athletic scholarships. In addition, there is a record number of top scholars, a total of 124 students who earned academic honor cords. It's a record. 29 seniors earned a 3.5 or higher. 42 seniors earned a 3.75 or higher. And a record 53 seniors earned a 4.0 or higher. Six seniors were awarded the AP Capstone Diploma, which signifies a senior who has successfully completed a minimum of 6 AP courses to include AP Research and AP Seminar. In the 24-25 school year, Mona Shores High School was recognized nationally and named to the AP Honor Roll once again for student performance and participation. Congratulations. And also, the list of fine arts awards, they have their own ceremony, but for the 10th year in a row, Mona Shores Public Schools has earned the Best Communities for Music Education in 2025, again, for the 10th year in a row. Congratulations. So we're going to take a moment to honor a former sailor. Before we continue with today's celebration, we're going to pause and honor the memory of one of our own. Sophia Kulan, a beloved member of the class of 2025 and the daughter of Andrew and Jessica Kulan, passed away in September of 2023, losing her battle to cancer. Sophia was more than a student. She was a bright light, a kind soul, and cherished friend whose spirit continues to live on in the hearts of all who knew her. She touched many lives with her warmth, her creativity, and her generous heart. Though she is not with us today, Sophia will always be a part of this graduating class, forever remembered and forever loved. At this time, we ask everyone to join in a moment of silence. Thank you. This evening's commencement band selection, chosen by our senior band members, is a piece that holds special significance for our students. Earlier this year, our wind ensemble was asked to play at the demonstration group for the International Clinic for Band and Orchestra, and this was the selection they performed. Presenting All My Heart by Michael Markowski, please welcome the Mona Shores Wind Ensemble. Thank you, Director of Bands, Mr. Jason Boyden, and one more round of applause for our beautiful commencement band. Beautiful piece. At this time, I'd like to introduce our Superintendent of Mona Shores Public Schools, Mr. Bill O'Brien.
Right, class of 2025, thank you. Thank you for leaving your mark on Mona Shores. Mrs. Bustard captured it perfectly, the class of kindness. We watched the other night at the honors convocation as you cheered louder for others than you did for yourself. That is you, that's who you are, that's who you've been. I have the privilege of knowing some of you since kindergarten, some of you even before that. One of the things you have done time and time again is give us hope. And everyone sitting here today looks at you, and you're still giving us hope. Incredible hope in the next generation of leaders, hope in the power of positivity, hope in the power of community, and most of all, hope in the greater good. In classrooms, on stages, courts, and fields, you've always been who you are. You've persevered, overcome, supported one another, sometimes followed, most of the time led the way. Now tonight, in an arena full of family, friends, and all your Mona Shores people, you get to walk across this stage like only you could. Unique, amazing, caring, fun, and inspiring, the list goes on. It's been truly incredible to watch you grow and learn and become leaders in our school and in our community. Last week, as you walked through the halls of our elementary buildings, you inspired the next generation of sailors. You're role models for them, and they've watched what you do, how you treat each other, your uniqueness, what makes you special. And they want to be just like you. That's your impact. That's your legacy. You've given them, you've given this community, and all of us hope and inspiration. The impact you've had on our community is immeasurable. From volunteering to performing, you have left Sailor Nation a better place because of who you are. So my message to you all is simple. A lot of you already get it. As you make your way out into the world after high school, show up, work hard, be kind, and truly amazing things will continue to happen for you. Thank you for being you, class of 2025, and congratulations. And with that, I have the honor of introducing your class of 2025 student speakers. Up first is Tasia Williams.
Good evening, parents, families, Mona Shores teachers and administrators, members of the board, and lastly, my fellow graduates from the class of 2025. High school graduation, one more big milestone to check off our list. Though this is not the end, it is only the beginning of our journey called life. We can all agree that the last 12 years has been quite the roller coaster. From forming new friendships and making the playground our home, to being at the center of a global pandemic during one of the most trying times of our lives. Though we have risen above and beyond the challenges we have faced, we couldn't have done it without the support of so many of you here tonight. Thank you all for your love and encouragement throughout our educational journey. Close your eyes and think back to a time of endless creativity and vibrance. A time when colorful sticks of chalk transform the blank sidewalk into whatever extraordinary masterpiece our hearts desired. Each drawing told a different story that was brought to life with a few simple strokes of color. Nothing else in the world to worry about except for what we would draw next. The world is our blank canvas, waiting for the innovative artist to create something exceptional. My mother always says, you have to start somewhere to go somewhere. And for us, that start was the successes we had in early elementary school. Whether that was becoming the line leader for the day or crushing March's Reading Month and being awarded a personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut. It is through many small successes that bring us to larger ones, like earning our cap and gown. High school is the key that will later open up doors to places we never knew we would end up. It's crazy to think that one day, all of our little quirks and trends, and maybe our awkward phases from 2020, will become a figment of our adolescence. But it's freeing to know that there will be more memories that will later shape us into who we will become. There is no doubt that throughout our high school career, we have been through trials and tribulations. Maybe we have lost friends, or maybe our relationships didn't go the way we envisioned them. I assure you that as you continue your journey, you will encounter similar challenges. But with the great challenge comes great responsibility to overcome what has been put before you. It's all about how you tackle it. Sometimes, life can present itself as a Rube Goldberg. Everyone's favorite project from middle school. If you know, you know. It can take you in many different directions in order for you to achieve what you intend to do. Today, I would like you all to remember to continue to strive to be the best version of yourselves that you can be. The next chapter in our lives will accompany uncertainty and hardships, but that is our chance to recollect the strategies we have once used to overcome prior obstacles. Just like how we created a masterpiece out of chalk and cement, it is now time to embark on our creativity and create a future that is filled with the same color and endless possibilities we had as kids. Now, we are presented with the opportunity to achieve great things as future doctors, dentists, lawyers, teachers, chemists, psychiatrists, nurses, musicians, and more. As we trade in our stick of chalk for a pen to write our next chapter, let us not forget the characters we have met along the way, for it is those people who have helped us write our stories. Famous singer and songwriter Phoebe Bridgers once sang, "Anyway, don't be a stranger." So when you see your locker partner from the 7th grade or your math teacher from this year in the grocery store, don't be a stranger and be sure to acknowledge those you have grown with along the way. Congratulations, class of 2025. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Tasia. And now, next up, Lila Torreson.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome, family, friends, teachers, administrators, and my fellow graduates, Mona Shore's class of 2025. High school graduation has the unique quality of being both an ending and a beginning. As this chapter of life closes, I've been reflecting on both the experiences which have shaped me, as well as the person I want to be as I move into adulthood. We all have experiences that shape the way we think. As I begin to make decisions as an adult, the following story will hold its place in my mind. I was around 10 years old, walking with my mom through the Muskegon Farmers Market. My goal of getting a sugar-filled lemonade and a handful of various flavors of honey sticks was continuously interrupted by what felt like hundreds of people stopping her to say hello. On the drive home, now content with my lemonade, I remember asking, "Mom, "Why do so many people want to talk to you?" Her response, I remember even clearer. "Well, people like me." While I thought this was funny at the time, I now realize how true that statement is. My mother is the kindest, most hardworking woman I know. The respect she shows everyone, her involvement in the community, and the smile she gives every passerby define the person she is. Consequently, others, like me, respect her. That is success. I'm sure we all have someone we can think of who fits that description. Whether it's a teacher, classmate, friend, parent, or other community member, we should strive to leave the same positive impact on others that they leave on us. To everyone sitting in front of me, I commend you on all your hard work that has earned you that cap and gown. To everyone sitting in the audience, I believe I speak for all of us when I say thank you. Thank you for trucking us to and from school, practice, rehearsal, or wherever else our presence was required. Thank you for helping, or at least attempting, to help us on our algebra homework. Thank you for being that shoulder to lean on when friendships went south or we failed a physics test. Thank you for encouraging us to get out of bed and go to school these past few months as the senioritis has kicked in. No matter your relation to the graduates in this room, if you're sitting in one of those chairs, you have helped someone on their journey to walk across this stage. So, once again, on behalf of myself and my fellow classmates, thank you. Now, graduates, after receiving our diplomas and making our way into the real world, I assume we all have a common goal: to achieve some sort of success. I hope to succeed in college by keeping my grades up and competing strongly on the sailing team. I hope to succeed in my career by working hard and working my way to a respected position. I hope to succeed socially by staying close with family and friends. Succeeding in different aspects of life may look different to everyone. However, to me, overall success isn't defined by material achievements. Success is the connections you make and the impact you leave along the way. It's easy to believe others define us by objective characteristics: what clubs we're in, what sports we play, or who we're friends with. Now, these may say something about who we are. In reality, 20 years from now, that won't be how we're remembered. People will think of the impact you leave on them. That's how I determine success. You won't be remembered for what grades you got in your classes, but for how you helped those around you. You won't be remembered for playing soccer, but for how you encouraged and led your teammates. You won't be remembered for being in marching band, but for staying humble while you helped those around you. To be successful is to be respected. We remember how others make us feel. I'm sure we've all had an instance where we were having a bad day, and one person was able to intervene with a kind action and change that. During our years at Mona Shores, we've all had challenges and made mistakes. But the fact is, after we walk across this stage, diploma in hand, we're offered a clean slate. So, after we leave this building, ready to take on the next chapter of life, take advantage of that clean slate. Learn and grow from mistakes, and strive to make every person you meet remember you. Be the person who puts smiles on others' faces. Earn your success, and do not let yourself peak in high school. Let us continue to grow as we take on new challenges, no matter what those may be. The world is at your fingertips. To wrap things up, I'd like to read an excerpt from a poem introduced to me this past fall. Continue to do the good work. Continue to build bridges, not walls. Continue to lead with compassion. Continue the demanding work of liberation for all. Continue to dismantle broken systems, large and small. Continue to set the best example for the children. Continue to be a vessel of nourishing joy. Continue right where you are. And if you are not continuing all of the above in community, partnership, collaboration, what is it you've been doing? What is it you're waiting for? Thank you once again to everyone ready to guide us through adulthood. And most importantly, congratulations to the Mona Shores class of 2025.
One more time for Tasia and Lila. Now I have the pleasure of introducing some incredible servants to our Mona Shores community, our Mona Shores Board of Education. We'll begin with our class of 2025 student representative, Maddie Rumsey. Class of 2026 student representative, Catherine Conrad. And beginning right over here, trustee A.J. Eckert. Trustee Jay Keeson. Trustee Stan Miller. Board Treasurer Mary McClellan. Board Secretary Candace Boyson. Our Board Vice President, who is unable to join us tonight, Jean Cooper Kuiper. And our Board President, Christine Bernaw, who will share her remarks with us at this time.
Hello, class of 2025, and all the proud family members, friends, teachers, and administrators here tonight. One of my favorite things as a school board member is being part of this exciting evening, looking out at your happy faces as you anticipate moving on to the next phase of your life, handing you the diploma that marks the end of one journey while wishing you the best on the path that lies ahead, a path as individual as you are, taking you on your next adventure. A path that might include college, trade school, a certificate program, joining the military, entering the workforce, or even taking some time to figure it out a little before that next step. Wherever life takes you, here are some things that I've learned since my own graduation back in the old days. Never stop learning. There will always be more to learn and to explore, so keep an open mind and learn all that you can from the people you meet, books and articles you read, podcasts you hear, experiences you have, and yes, even sometimes from YouTube and Google. Communicate openly and honestly. Communication and collaboration are the cornerstones of any relationship, whether professional or personal. Listen with an open heart and speak with thoughtfulness and kindness. Be ready for anything. No one's path through life is absolutely smooth. Life can be more like a walk through Lake Harbor Park, sometimes straight, sometimes winding, at times full of light, and at others filled with shadows. And sometimes there will be dunes to climb that take your breath away. But keep forging ahead, following your passions and your instinct, staying true to yourself and to those you love, and you will always find your way. Congratulations, Mona Shores class of 2025. I wish the best for each of you always. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris Bernaw, for your amazing words of encouragement for the wonderful class of 2025. We are very, very, very honored and lucky and fortunate to have such a caring Board of Education. Let's give them all a round of applause, please. This year's senior song selection is entitled Ode to Shores. The music and the lyrics were actually written by these seniors, Senior Leah Baldwin, Logan Clausen, Colin Patterson, and Abby Bukema. You're in for a real treat. Enjoy.
Look how far we've come. The chapter's finished, but the story isn't done. want to do. The answer's always changing, 'cause we get to start anew. Our plans are more than just child's play. Now we're going our own way. Our own way. Look how far we've come. The chapter's finished, but the story isn't done. 13 years we've waited to walk across this floor. The trials we've been handed made us who we are. Who we are. There are times we face setbacks, we fell off track, we turn ourselves around. These memories we've made pave the way to our cap and gown. No matter where we go, one thing's for sure, wanting you to know. Although this door is closing, a new one's not so far away. Whatever trouble you may face, I promise it'll be okay. You blink and it's behind you. Let the memories remind you of who you are and who you can become. Take one step that leads to another. Wherever you go, don't forget where you came from. We know the future's bright, 'cause we've been through it, but we're on each other's side. On to new horizons, we're finally breaking free from all the expectations. Now it's clear to see. It's clear to see. Still gonna face setbacks, we'll fall off track, but we'll turn ourselves around. All the paths that we will take will never break who we are deep down. No matter where we go, one thing's for sure, wanting you to know. Although this door is closing, a new one's not so far away. Whatever trouble you may face, I promise it'll be okay. You blink and it's behind you. Let the memories remind you of who you are and who you can become. Take one step that leads to another. Wherever you go, don't forget where you came from.
What incredible talent. Let's give them another round of applause. Amazing. Wow. All right, class of 2025, it's just about time to walk across that stage. So just a couple reminders before I present the class of 2025. I know that it's a really exciting time, but it's really important that all of our graduates, that each of their names be heard by their family and friends. So, in tradition, I ask you to refrain from using air horns, noisemakers, so that all of their names can be heard. Thank you so very much for that. And now, for the presentation of the class of 2025. To the Board of Education, I have completed my duties to this class and present them to you for graduation. Each of the students before you has completed the requirements set forth by the Board of Education policy. thus having prepared themselves under the rigorous standards of Mona Shores High School. I commend them to you and recommend that they be granted diplomas signifying their commencement from Mona Shores Public Schools. Will the first row rise, please?
Grace Kathleen Allen. Mario Ethan Anaya. Rachel Catherine Arbib. Jabin Miles Austin. Sydney Marie Austin. Leah Corinne Baldwin. Aubrey Lene Ballard. Corbin Lucas Ballman. Ava Joy Beauchamp Newcomer. Mackenzie Ann Annie. Carson Ryan Beiseisen. Ariana Lucia Bejarano. Dekayla Janai Bell. Natalie Cheyenne Berry. Jordan Robert Bledsoe. Gracie Marie Bolin. Alicia Lynn Boomer. Coriante James Bothwell. Cole Wesley Bowman. Lilith Grace Braden. Kenai Edward Imoni Bradford Johns. Elise Jeanette Bradley. Nathan Chris Edward Briggs, Jr. Jordan Ashley Brasino. Caden Alec Brott. Caden Robert Brott. Hannah Michael Brower. Sophie Lucille Brown. Lamarion Amari Brown Franklin. Adrian Desiree Buchanan. Abby Marie Buchema. Sadie Faith Burns. Michael Troy Burr III. Yesenia Yasmin Cabrera. Phoenix Luz Callison. Maggie Kathleen Campbell. Caleb Elijah Cantu. Ezra Lee Carafel. Micah Richard Carafel. Mackenzie Ryan Carey. Lila Ray Carlson. Lainey Joy Carmine. Braxton Andrew Carr. Colin Anthony Caruso. Angelo Gerard Chandler Jr. Austin Ellery Chandler. Riley Elizabeth Chatney. Dominic Trayson Clark. Logan Grace Clausen. Ethan Taylor Coffey. Liliana Marie Kaufman. Isabel Ray Coleman. Gavin Isaiah Collins. Jasper Dax Corp. Nevea Angel Cortez. Micah Alex Cowell. Asher Jonah Craze. Allison Faith Cree. Trevor Lance Cunningham. Andrew Luke Davis. Cohen Allen Davis. Riley Summer Davis. Talon James DeJong. Castor Troy Dempsey. Brianna Daniela DeRoos. Amelia Ann Dove. Talila Desiree Dowdell. Sienna Sky Delinsky. Nicholas Brandon Durham. Alexander James DuRose. Kylie Anderson Dusenberry. Jersey Sue Eccleston. Serena Catherine Elliott. Reed Davis Elliston. Mariana Escobar. Robert Reginald Eslick. Jillian Marie Fano. Christopher Thomas Farhat. Delayla Rosemarie Farrow. Darian Ryan Fernley. Addison Stanton Fisher. Ryan Scott Fitzpatrick. Sydney Anne-Marie Forbes. Claire Elizabeth Fouché. Caden Robert Franz. Ava Walthea Fry. Julie Ann Freimeyer. Tyree Dwayne Fulgham. Patricia Elizabeth Geiser. Cecilia Evelyn Gappa. Vincent Mateo Garza. Nathan Lee Gilchrist. Ava Maria Gomez. Emmett Alton Greer. Summer Rain Greer. Landon Michael Hall. Ashton Ray Hamlet. Abby Lynn Hannon. Jelani Jalil Hardiman. Brendan Edward Harmson. Evan M. Harter. Lincoln Thomas Harwood. Owen Thomas Heath. Landon Kimball Helmer. Emma Magdalene Herman. Donna Ailime Hernandez. Blake Allen Hewitt. Lucas David Higgins. Nadia Shiree Hildreth. Carson William Hoaxema. Cohen James Holman. Addison Faith Huffman. Aiden Richard Hunt. Tannen Matthew Hurley. Amaria Zion Hussey Walker. Andrew Jacob Hilland. Braylon Michael Hearns. Luca James Ivanov. Jack Macy Janig. Vivian Elise Jensen. Zoe May Gent. Breon Darnell Johnson. Damian Allen Johnson. Jagger Damian Johnson. Jalen Riley Jones. Lillian Renee Jones. Symphony Jean Jones. Tobias John Judson. Tyler James Lawrence Cammers. Jackson Ray Kydell. Blythe Mackenzie Callahan. Derek James Kern. Aden Joanne Keever. Conway Joseph Kevern. Anthony Shamel Camro. Alexander Brian Kiel. Esther Hyun Kim. Ella Ann Kinney. Haley Marie Clariter. Isaiah Elijah Knox. Hunter James Kruger. Ryan Richard Kuhn. Travis Fox LaFlame. Gavin Matthew Lambert. Daphne Eileen Lamson. Kelly Lee. Gavin Anthony Leonard. Tanner Derek Lewandowski. Hader Antonio Loaisaca. Ashlyn Leanne Locke. Elora Renee Lucht. Olivia Renee Luna. Sienna Shay Lynn. Skylar Summer McLaughlin. Claire Elizabeth Madden. Diamond Marie Madison. Nathan Anthony Marshall. Kasia Monique Massey. Elijah James Masbergen. Juliana Isara Maddox. Madison Catherine McClure. Tyrese Markiel McCorvey Hill. Maya Marie Medacco. Chandler Ray Medendorp. Brooke Susan Delaney Meekoff.
Peyton Lee Mariel. Braylon Aline Myers. Eleni Kyla Michael. Holly Marie Miles Larson. Hannah Marie Miller. Isabella Rachel Miller. Kaylee Lynn Miller. Sienna Brielle Mitchell. Lexus. Olivia Lexus Mitchell. Mackenzie Elizabeth Mixter. Javante Cole Moser. Ford Copley Mulder. Ella Jolie Nardini. Carson Michael Natty. Olivia Ann Naylor. Benjamin Jess Nybarger. Braylon Joseph Nichols. Ava Lauren Nowakowski. Kian Isaiah Ogren. Mitchell Gabriel Anika. Jaden Jonathan Aquendo. Cassidy Jane Osborne. Connor David Osterhart. Kamaya Marie Page Marble. Abigail Sue Paquin. Kaylin Rylan Parrish. Colin Michael Patterson. Sarah Evelyn Law Patterson. Jamian Charles Pierce, Jr. Amelia Guadalupe Pena. Layla Kiona Perez. Kian Alexander Peterson. Macy Ray Peterson. Christopher Isaiah Phillips. Catherine Emily Phillips. Jonathan Quincy Pittman. Noah Matthew Pollock. Julian Michael Powell. Elmir Praniki. Nicholas Neal Rambo. Austin Rankin Jr. Malia Ayana Ray. Emma Faye Reelman. Zachary Evan Reinecke. Anthony Guillermo Reynoso. Logan James Rice. Judith Olivia Lynn Riley. Mateo Lee Rivera. Carter Davis Roby. Solomon Matthew Robertson. Preston James Rose. Javon Ross III. Madeline Jane Rumsey. Veer Singh Sani. Acela Michelle Sanchez. Sophia Anne-Marie Saylor. Mason Robert Lee Shippers. Cohen Michael Seiferlin. Aiden Cole Selgren. Bella Marie Semmelbauer. Westbrook Michael Shaboose III. Paradise Namie Shepherd. Alec Anthony Siegel. Selena Rose Siplinga. Okay. John Eugene Simila. Liliana Bell Sloth. Jason? Aaliyah Jacelyn Marie Smith. Christopher Robert Smith. Jessica Marie Smith. Julia Ann Smith. Is it Xavier? Xavier? Landon Xavier Smith. Reese Emily Smith. Chase Ryan Sobish. Solar? Brandon Wilson Solar. Mason Mary Southland. Sophia Jane Spaniola. Oh my God. Julia Grace Spaniolo. Thomas James Sperry. Queen. Ella Abigail St. Martin. Patrick Eugene Stapleton. James David Starr V. Isabel Jane Sturnevant. Lainey Marie Swear. Jamari Tyrell Taylor. Quentin Wade Tennant. Colin Jacob Thompson. Kimora May Latrice Thompson. Malaya Michelle Thompson. Michael Stephen Thompson, Jr. Brady Patrick Tilden. Nathan Harold Tilden. Kaylee Joy Thurlow. Jassy Vergara Tish. Lila Louise Torson. Alicio Tovar, Jr. Marcus Deshaun Towers, Jr. Jocelyn Elizabeth Turnbull. Jaden Mitchell Turner. Addison Drew Twining. Raylyn May Tyler. Roxy Jo Vanderwall. There Christopher Ildefonse Vanderwall. Evie Nadine Van Duzen. Is it Visger? Patience Ann Visger. Mia Bella K. Lee Vitale. Hayden Michael Vladica. Dalen Michael Vorgas. Jessica Ann Grace Wakefield. Chase Michael Allen Walachovic. Kennedy Pearl Walters. Benjamin James Warren. Madison Danielle Webster. Tasia Lachelle Williams. Chelsea Lynn Woodcock. Brennan Michael Woods. Charles David Woolery. Shannon Lee Wurlebor. Salazar. Anthony Jesus Yanes Salazar. Samari Kamaya Lynn York. Haley Ann Yeomans. Eric Anthony Zabrenzi. Ethan Andrew Zabrenzi. Emily Zhang.
You did it. All right, seniors, it is that time, yes. Move your tassel from your right to your left and give it a toss. Let's go! Awesome. Awesome. In keeping with tradition, we will be singing the Alma Mater, so senior choir and orchestra members, if you could make your way up to the risers. And the rest of the seniors, see if you can't find your cap you just tossed. In just a moment, our amazing senior choir members and orchestra members will be singing and playing the Alma Mater. Before we get started, I think we do need to, as a Sailor Nation, thank retiree Mr. Sean Lawton for his 31 years of service. So thank you, Sean Lawton and Mrs. DeRose, for conducting our Alma Mater. Would everyone please rise? The music lyrics are in your program. Please join us in singing our Alma Mater.
Spirit
right. So our senior choir and orchestra members are going to be making their way back to the rows. So just a couple housekeeping items as we complete this evening's ceremonies. Parents and family members, you can greet your graduates either outside the arena or inside the arena. Hopefully you've made that good plan. The senior celebration bus will be picking up out on the Western Circle at 9:15. What a great class. Awesome. All right, Sailor Nation, it looks like all of our graduates have made it back to the rows. Let's give them one loud round of applause. Congratulations! Woo-hoo! This concludes our commencement ceremony. Thank you, Sailor Nation, for attending, and best wishes to the class of 2025.